agenda. Number 1, welcome. 2, social emotional content. 3, content. 4, objective. 5, reflection. 6, content development. And at last, we have questions and answers. Let's continue to our class.
Hello, 6th graders! How are you today? Welcome to a new English class. For today's class, we are going to continue working in some activities related with your English ID starter. And also, we are going to continue working in the activities on your Richmond platform. Why? Because it is important that you practice each exercise on that platform. So, what you have to do is pay attention to the instructions that I'm gonna give you in order you can understand and you can complete each activity that I'm gonna present. Okay? And also, it is very important, boys and girls, don't distract your classmates on this chat. Remember, if you want to ask me any question related with the content we are gonna develop or the activities you have to develop today, you can write me on this chat and I'm gonna read it. So, boys and girls, let's continue with our social emotional content. Pay attention to this short history, and if you want to comment something related with this history, you can do it. So, here we go. One day, a cat was very hungry. He said, "Oh, I'm very hungry. What can I do to find delicious food?" He said. Then he reached everywhere for food. "I cannot find food. What can I do? Please help me. I'm very hungry." He saw some branches of grapes hanging from the vines. He said, "Oh my goodness! These are delicious grapes! Woohoo! Now I can eat them! Woohoo! He tried to reach them, but they were too high. "Oh, these grapes are too high. I can't catch them. What can I do?" So he jumped, and jumped again, but he couldn't reach them. At last, he got tired. He said, "I'm tired. I couldn't catch those delicious grapes. These grapes are sour. I don't want them." Then it ran away. The end.
The content we are going to study today is, do you live near here? Objective, to know how to ask for specific information. The reflection to our class is, make this day great. What do you understand about it? Tell me. I'm going to give you my point of view. Do the things you like the most. In this way, you will have a great and fun day. Now, boys and girls, tell me, what do you think this reflection is talking about? Make this day great. Think about it and take into account this phrase all day, every day. In this way, your days will be great. Let's continue to our class. This is page number 35, and these are the activities you have to complete on this page. Page number 35. Present simple, third person singular. Did you remember or do you know what is third person singular? Tercera persona singular. He, she, and it. He, she, and it. As you can see here in the instruction, we have read common mistakes and complete the table with does or doesn't. Add s to the verbs where necessary. This is another thing that I'm gonna explain you, the use of s. You are gonna write s to the verbs when you talk about third person singular. In here, present simple, third person singular. We have positive statements, negative statements, question, short answers. Positive short answers and negative short answers. Try to do it by yourself, then I'm going to show you the answers. Meanwhile, I'm going to explain you this. Why does Superman have an S? Because he's the third person. He hates kryptonite, he loves Lois, and he doesn't like bad guys. Here you have the letter S in red color in order to identify better the moment in which you are going to use it. In this case, third person singular. Now, I'm going to show you the answers. Here we have, according to short answers, but first of all, I'm going to say this. He has a brother. She or he work in New York. Here is missing the letter S. He, she works in New York. The next one, he or she lives with a friend. Lives. La letra S tienen que escribir ustedes acá, chicos, en el verbo. Works, lives. Negative statements. He doesn't have a sister. She doesn't work at home. She doesn't live alone. Be careful in this case. Mucho cuidado en este caso. Why? Because in negative statements, we have an auxiliary here. The auxiliary is doesn't. For that reason, the verbs, in these verbs, you are not gonna add the letter S. Por esa razón aquí no vamos a agregar la letra S porque ya tenemos un auxiliar antes del verbo. No podemos decir, we can say, he doesn't have a sister or she doesn't work at home. No, remember this. This is very important. Here we have an auxiliary. For that reason, these verbs are in this way, okay? He doesn't have a sister, she doesn't work at home, she doesn't live alone. Questions, what about questions? The same happens in questions. Here we have an auxiliary, the auxiliary is does. For that reason, you are not gonna add the letter S to the main verb. Does he have sisters? Does she work in an office? Does she live with a friend? This is another example. Here we have auxiliary verb, and for that reason, you are not gonna add the letter S to the main verb. Short answers. Yes, he or she does. Negative answers. No, he and she doesn't. What about the questions? Does he do? Next, where does he work? And the last, where does she live? Take notes. Vayan tomando nota, chicos. Contractions, doesn't or does not. You can use both of them. she doesn't, he doesn't, or he does not, or she does not. Any question about it? If you have any question, write it on the chat. Well, and here we have another extra explanation, common mistakes. Suri, have a daughter is incorrect. Why? Because Suri is third person singular. For that is has. Suri has a daughter. At home is incorrect. Why? Because here we have an auxiliary. For that reason, the correct option is she doesn't work at home. And the last explanation, the last exercise, in order you can understand better, she doesn't live with her mother. You are not gonna say she don't live with her mother. That is incorrect. The correct option is she doesn't live with her mother. Okay. And this is another explanation we have in here related with third person singular. Apart from verb be, English verbs have only two present simple forms. I, you, we, they, plus verb. We live here. I have a bike. He, she, and it. Remember, these are called third person singular. He lives there. She has a car. Major get the S. And this is an information you are gonna complete in your book. Complete the ID form for a member of your family. You are gonna choose one of your family in order to complete this. Person, my mother. We can say my mother. Name, Maria. Lives in, lives with, occupation, and place of work. This is the information you are gonna use in order to complete this ID form. Now, let's continue with our class. It's time to start working in the activities that I'm gonna present you for today's class. For that, you are gonna open your English ID Starter. English ID Starter. As you can see here, this is the page in which we are gonna work right now. Page number 36. I'm gonna repeat again. Page number 36. This page. And as I was mentioning before, the content is, do you live near here? How you are gonna answer? If your answer is positive, yes, I do. But if your answer is negative, no, I don't. And the subcontent says listening for a specific information. As you can see, you are gonna listen some audios in order to guess the correct answers to each activity. What you have to do right now is pay attention to the audios in order you can understand what you have to do. But before, I'm going to explain you each of these activities. The first audio consists on listen and read World of English, then look at Laura and Charlie's photo and try to predict. That is what you are going to do first. Try to predict. We have 4 questions for their conversation. What do you think? According to the picture, as you can see here, this is the picture. We are going to make predictions right now. 4 questions from their conversation. Do you like this music? Do you like this food? Do you like this class? Or do you live near here? What do you think is the question, or are the questions they are asking themselves or to each other in this case? What do you think? according to the picture, one of the questions can be, do you like this music? This is one. You are going to write a check next to the question. Do you like this music? And another possible question can be, do you live near here? This is another possible question they can ask each other. Number 2, are they at a party, a movie theater, a school? What do you think according to the picture? They are at a party. Number 3, are they brothers and sisters, husband and wife, or strangers? Strangers. What do you think? Strangers. Strangers. Questions. How are you? Is that good? What about you? What do you do? What do you study? What do you want to eat? These are some questions in order to identify a specific information or ask different kind of specific information. Now, that you are going to listen. Word of English. Then in exercise B, listen to part 1 of Laura and Charlie's dialogue to check. Letter C, check 8 words Laura and Charlie use in part 1 of the dialogue. Listen again to check. Bien, chicos, en esta parte lo que tenemos que hacer es escuchar la primera parte del audio between Laura and Charlie y vamos a ir marcando lo que se vaya escuchando en el audio. If you listen a car, you are gonna write a little check, okay? And how many words you are gonna mark? ¿Cuántas van a marcar? 8 words, 8 chequecitos de acuerdo a lo que ellos mencionen en el audio, according what they mention in the audio. In exercise D, read 1 to 10, listen to the complete dialogue and write C, Charlie, or L, Laura. And this is the information you have to try to guess through the audio you are gonna listen in this moment. Let's listen the audios.
Audio 3.19.
Listening isn't easy in any language. Here are 3 listening tips. 1. Before you listen, imagine the context and the words or phrases people use in that situation. 2. Know your objective. What exactly do I need to understand? 3. Don't expect to understand or mentally translate every word. It isn't necessary.
Audio 3.20.
Nice party.
Yes, it is.
Hi, my name's Laura.
Oh, hello. I'm Charlie. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Do you live near here?
No, I live downtown. What about you?
I live near here.
What do you do, Laura?
I'm unemployed at the moment, but I'm a university student.
I see. What do you study?
I study information technology, IT.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm an IT professional.
Well, after listening the audios, it's time to show you the answers to each activity. According to this, exercise B, 1D. Do you live near here? G. What about you? H. What do you do? I. What do you study? Then 2A. A party. 3C. Strangers. These are the correct options that you have to choose in activity 1. Do you live near here? This one. What about you? This. You have to mark these equations con un marcador o lo pueden ir chequeando como ustedes gusten. What do you do? That is another. What do you do? 2A, a party. This one, a party. 3C, strangers. Okay, these are the correct options you have to choose. Then, according to the exercise, check 8 words Laura and Charlie use in part 1 of the dialogue. Listen again to check. In this case, I'm going to show you the answers. I'm going to show you the answers. And here we have the options. Let me see. I have some problems to move this. Okay. This one. The first word, nice, hi, hello, do, unemployed, university, student, and interesting. These are the words you have to mark here. Let's read the words. Nice, hi, hello, do, unemployed, university, student, interesting. Easy, right? These activities are very easy to understand. And the last exercise, read 1 to 10, listen to the complete dialogue and write C, Charlie, or L, Laura, the answers. Let me see. Here we have the answers, and we say that, well, according to number 1, lives downtown. Charlie. Charlie lives downtown. 2, lives near here. Laura lives near here. Number 3, is employed. Laura is employed. 4, studies IT. Laura studies IT. 5, is an IT professional. Charlie. Charlie is an IT professional. For a bank. Charlie. Charlie works for a bank. 7, isn't married. 7, isn't married. Charlie isn't married. What about number 8? Doesn't live alone. Doesn't live alone. Charlie. 9, is more curious. Laura. And number 10 ends the conversation. Charlie. And according to this percentage, we have listen again. How much can you understand? How much can you understand? In this way, about 50% of the audios, 60%, 80%, or 100%. What is your level of comprehension talking about audios? ¿Cuál creen que es su nivel de comprensión auditiva? ¿Cuál creen ustedes? 50%, el 50%. ¿Entienden medio lo que dice el audio? Or 60%, el 60%. 80%, 80 or 100% o el 100%. What is your level of comprehension? ¿Cuál es tu nivel de comprensión? Write this on the chat. Escriban esto, chicos, en el chat. Okay? I need to know this. So let's continue with the next page. Now we are gonna continue working in our Richmond platform, and the activities you are gonna develop are later, unit 3. We have in 3, and the exercises are grammar 1, 2, 3, and 4. These are the exercises we are gonna develop right now. Pay attention in order you can understand. In order to complete these exercises, this is the first, grammar 1. We have in here 7 sentences. The instruction says possessive adjectives. Choose the correct option to complete each sentence. Number 1, I have 2 sisters. Remember, possessive adjectives. What is the correct option? I have 2 sisters. Its names are Ana and Estefania. Their names are Ana and Estefania. Her names are Ana and Estefania, or their names are Ana and Estefania. The correct is their. Their names are Ana and Estefania. Number 2, my husband and I have a daughter. A daughter. Her name is Claire. Number 3, my son's name is Ricardo. Son's name. What is the correct option? His. His or his? He is a lawyer. 4, my brother is an engineer. His name is John. 5, my husband and I have 2 children. They are 7 and 9. This is our wife. This is my wife. This is your wife, or this is its wife. This is my wife, Helen. She is a doctor. The last, number 7, this is my husband. Her daughter. Her daughter. Jenny. She's 1 year old. The first grammar activity. Let's continue with grammar 2. Easy, right? Next exercise. Grammar 2, present simple. Match the questions to the answers. Do you have children? Do you have children? What is the correct answer? Do you? What is the answer? No, I don't. This one. This one. No, I don't. I live with my wife and children. Is correct? In this case, the correct option is yes, we do. We have 2 daughters. Then number 2, do you live with your parents? No, I don't. I live with my wife and children. Do you have any sister? Yes, I do. 3 and 1 brother. Next, is your brother single? No, he isn't. What's her name? We have in here the next question. What's her name? I think is Francesca. This one is Francesca. And the last, how old are they? They're 11 and 15. This is the exercise related with grammar 2. Let's continue with grammar 3. According to grammar 3, we have present simple. ASI and QASI equations. Order these words to form equations. This exercise is very easy. In here, what do you do? This is the first. What do you do? Number 2, do you work at home? Number 3, where does he live? Where does he live? Number 4, do they work here? Number 5, where do here is you want to live? Where do you want to live? And the last one, does she have a sister? Well, here we have the correct. Now the last exercise is grammar 4. According to grammar 4, we have a present simple third person singular. The instruction match the equations to the answers. The first, where does she work? She works in that office. Next, who does she live with? Who does she live with? Her parents. Her parents. Does he live alone? Does he live alone? No. He lives with his brother. Where does he work? Where does he work? He works downtown. This one is the correct. Does she work in a school? Does she work in a school? No, she doesn't. Does he have a dog? Yes, he does. He has 2. So, boys and girls, these are the exercises on Richmond platform. Try to do it, and as you can see, these are very easy to understand and very easy to complete. Now, let's continue with the last part. The class is finished for today. Thank you for your attention and for your participation during this time. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. See you the next week. And remember, if you want to ask me any question about the activities we developed today, you can write me on this chat. Bye-bye. See you. Take care.
smile, and you need me to hold you close.